Going to talk a little bit about a concept on how to find your market and how it works and what I've discovered over the years. The first thing we need to do is just have a hypothesis. So we have to have a hypothesis, and then from the hypothesis, we'll be able to almost prune the market to offer match. So we start broad, like I'll just give you an example, right? I help trombone players improve their tone, okay? It may start off like that, and then I might find that, oh, mostly adult trombone players are reaching back to me, people that have been away from the horn and they're coming back to it. So maybe it's like I help adult trombone players improve their tone, right? And then I find out after doing more calls and interacting with more customers, I might find out that, oh, everyone's just interested in going on more of the approach of a good sound for jazz music, you know? So I help adults, jazz trombone players interested in jazz get a better tone, you see? So it starts to narrow in, but the only way to get there is to have conversations with many different people in the marketplace. And really, I always tell all my students that I don't create the offers. You don't create the offers. Your audience creates the offers. Your students create the offers. And the only way to know is to have conversations with them, okay? And we start with a hypothesis, and then it gets narrower and narrower and narrower. And, you know, there's a saying, you may have heard it, they call it the riches are in the niches, right? And you can't start off niche. We start off a little broad, and then over time, as we have conversations with people, we start to zone it in. I'll give you an example from my business offer, how it got to where it's at right now, where I help musicians. It first started off broad, where I helped a lot of different creatives from a creative background monetize what they do online. And from there, we had a lot of different sales processes. We had a lot of different niches that we served and helped, just as long as you came from a creative background. So some people wanted to promote their art, some people wanted to promote their music and pre-launch their music, some people wanted to teach courses. And really what we did is we helped people to build an email list, which is the most powerful asset to do an online business, because you own the bigger your list, the bigger your business. And then from that email list, we showed them how to create offers based on the unique situation. When I ran that, I found that a lot of our students were doing the best when I showed them how to do high ticket educational programs, okay? So then I switched the offer to then only work with creatives still, but we're only focused on these premium high ticket coaching programs in their area of expertise. And we showed them how to do everything, the webinars, run the traffic, how to enroll the students, how to create great programs and all of that, okay? And then from there, I started to notice that a lot of the people that were booking a call with us were musicians. So then I was like, well, I like musicians. I'm around musicians. I feel comfortable around musicians because that's my world. And I really am an expert in speaking the music language that can translate to other music educators, because I've been on both sides of the equation and I know how musicians think, teach, and what's effective for their students. So then what happened is we started to dial it in even more and serve just musicians, because a lot of the people that were enrolling that were students with us were just musicians. So then we niched down even further, okay? Right? So you start a little broad, and as you have conversations with people, then you start to dial it in and niche down and niche down and niche down. So we don't really start niche down at the beginning because we don't know. And the only way to know what is the best market to audience match is to have conversations with potential customers and everything. So there's a saying that I want you to remember, and it's a word, it's AMO, A-M-O, okay? And all that means is audience, message, offer. And they all have to line up. So if something's not working in the sales process, it's either the wrong audience with the wrong message or the wrong message with the wrong offer. And when it all dials in and you start to get this converting, well, the AMO's in place, A-M-O. And that's what I want you to think about. So how do we know what hypothesis? Well, there's a few ways you can figure out what hypothesis to at least start a little broad. And that is just to kind of look at what's going on in the world, in the marketplace, and what people are leaving comments on videos, like what videos are ranking well, people are interested in, and then go to message forums and see what questions people have in your area of expertise. And then you can see the comments. You can go into groups on the internet where they all congregate together and see what people are interested, what people are already buying, you know? Like maybe you should start to follow all the different people that are teaching what you like to teach. And once you start seeing ads, chances are if someone's running ads, especially you can see the history of how long they've been running ads, chances are they're doing something right, because why would they be spending all this money on advertisement if it wasn't making them back more than they're spending, right? So that's one way you could do it. But you got to start a little broad first, and you may not know what it is. And the only way to know is to have conversations. So commit first and figure it out as you go along. A lot of the people have analysis paralysis. So they think they have to have everything perfect. They have to know everything before they start to do something. But that's really not the way to do this, everyone. You really want to start with a hypothesis, analyze the data, have a new hypothesis, and then do the same thing over. It's almost like a circle. It's like have a hypothesis, run data to it, analyze the data, and have a new hypothesis. And you keep going around in a circle. And if you keep doing that enough and enough, you keep refining it and growing a really beautiful situation for yourself. And then you can be in a situation where they say the riches are in the niches, right? But we got to start a little broad and keep zoning in, zoning in, zoning in, zoning in. It's like, oh, well, a lot of the people that are buying from me, they fit this. So they're like that. Maybe I should just talk to them. Boom. All of a sudden it converts higher. All of a sudden, because what sounds more, let's just do an example, right? Let's say that you want someone to hang up Christmas lights, okay? And there's a couple options. There's a person that's the local handy person that can hang up your Christmas lights. Or then there's someone that says Christmas light installation specialist, right? What sounds more attractive to you? And think about that every time you look at something that makes you gravitate towards them. Like, oh, I'm a doctor that knows how to do a lot of different procedures. Let's say you needed a knee surgery. I'm a doctor that only specializes in knee surgeries. I've done over 2,000 of these. It's my area of expertise. I've studied more than anything. What sounds more attractive to you on the end of a consumer? Okay, so think about it that way. Like, for example, my business offer, we only work with musicians, but not just any musicians. The musicians we work with, they are all educated in music, and most of them all went to school for music, and they all know their major scales, for example. So that type of musician, they're the students that were in band together growing up, or orchestra or choir together. And they were music students like that. And then they studied it later in school, in college, and they got their degree in it. And they're professional musicians. Like that's who our audience is. It's not just any musicians. You see how it's more niched down, right? And why is that? Well, because those are the people I felt comfortable with. And those are the people that felt comfortable with me because they knew I came from the same background. And then all the people on our team come from that background. We all speak the same lingo here. So it's a very comfortable situation when we're helping grow these businesses together because we all come from the same background. We know how it works. But it didn't start that way. So I want you guys to remember this. Start broad, zone it in, and be receptive to change. Be receptive to refining. And never be stuck in just your own way. You have to be open to adapting. And when you do it this way, it's simple because you don't have to think about what to do because your audience is writing everything for you. You just have to be like very aware, very, very good listener. And you're a musician. So you want to just use that skill as a good listener to open up your ears and eyes and be an observer of what's going on and adapting and committing to it, taking action and adapting to it as you go along. And that's how you really grow these things. And I've seen it so many times. I've now mentored thousands of musicians, okay? And I've helped grow tons of businesses. And I've seen the ones that were very successful students of mine. What traits did they have? Commit first, figure it out as you go along. Be open to change. Be open to adapting. And that's how you win. And it should give you some comfort because when you do it this way, you can only win because it's all there for you. All the information is there for you. You just have to know how to adapt to it once you receive the information and how to position it in a way that refines and refines. All right. So if you have value in any of this at all, if you like more of this, just hit subscribe. There's a couple other ways that my company can help you. One, you can book a free strategy session with my team, and we can see if we can help take your area of expertise, turn it into a premium program that gives you control of your schedule, allows you to increase your earnings and get your students amazing results. And you may be wondering, well, how do I find these students? There's a free class that we have. It's also here in the description, and that will tell you where to find the first students, how to piece it all together. And a lot of people have told me that free class has really changed their perspective on how everything can be organized in their life. And it's Paul the Trombonist. I appreciate you guys. Take care.